What was the state of the church when you first moved into your house, which is only separated by a gate from the church?
Yes, so I moved into my property around 2006. Now, to come back to your question, that what was the state of the place is and I would say it was an eyesore because the building was actually literally falling. It was dilapidated. You had squatters, everywhere. It looked as if the whole rats in Liverpool were bred in this place, and so we were actually endangered, with rat infestation when we first came to live around, and so I mean the only way I can describe it was very dilapidated, and I saw inhabitable, but it was actually habited by squatters and then also rats. That's what I can say basically.
How difficult or complicated was the process you followed before discovering your great-grandfather was christened in this church building in 1876?
Yeah, it was, my wife did a lot of the work, didn't you? And it was on ancestry.co.uk, and it took a lot of searching through, didn't it, with the birth certificates, death certificates to trace, and through different churches, the ancestry. We got a little book made to record everything. Yeah. There's great granddad there, James Harrison Eaton, born 2nd of May 1876, and then he was christened here on the 29th of May 1876. All right. So we
got a copy of the christening certificate on Ancestry. I found that. So basically you just type the name in and it will come up with any details about that person, and then I found where he was christened, so I know that he was christened in this church. And on the details it says his parents' name, the name he was christened, who christened him, and the address that they lived at in Liverpool as well.
Let's talk about the food bank at the church, man. Not many churches do that. Why do you decide to run a food bank?
Okay, so the food bank, not many churches do a food bank, as you say, but we saw the need and we thought it was imperative for us to do so. It was actually the dream or the baby of Pastor Sarpong, and it came about due to the COVID when it was the lockdown period, and we saw the need that there were elderly people in the community who could not access like medication and groceries, etc. So we decided, or Reverend decided to start. We started actually from the church coffers, just using money from that to buy groceries and things like that. And we ourselves, myself and Pastor, started off by delivering food parcels to people in their homes who were immobile or elderly or just single mothers, people who couldn't get out. And that's where it started. But it's not only solely about the food bank, Gold House, Hope for All, which is the sister charity. We do extensive work, different programs impacting and empowering women and the youth in the community. And also we do holiday programs. Every holiday we run what you call HFA. It's Holiday and Food and Activities Program, which is also supported by LCVS in Liverpool and MPAC. So, and it's a really fantastic program because the children, they love it. They have lots of activities when they come. Like we have bouncy castle, we have arts and crafts, we have games, we have drama, a lot of interactive, and it gives the parents a respite, and also it keeps the children off the street.
As a politician, did politics influence your religion or your religion influence your politics?
I think both of them came from very similar overlapping values. I think probably if there was an emphasis, my interest in history and my interest on the evolution of religious and social movements. I studied at university Weber's theories of the Protestant work ethic and those changes in society. So I think there was a mutual overlapping, I couldn't say one led to the other, but I think there is a sort of a common thread of values and a belief about how society can and should change. And also the importance of the freedom of the individual in society is very much distinctive in the Free Church tradition, rather than those churches which have a very much more rigid view of, you know, the Archbishop will tell you what the Bishop could tell you, so the Bishop could tell you what you're supposed to believe. No, I think that there is a mutual flow of values and outlooks that reinforce each other.
What is your connection with this church building, Sam?
My connection with this building can be recorded way back when I moved to Liverpool. That was 2010 to start a church, and I was looking for a place of worship. So I contacted the owners of this building. By then, they were trying to renovate it and use it as their church. But anytime I passed by, I could see that they haven't moved in. So I started making contacts. So finally, we had a breakthrough by having a meeting with them, and that is how we got in. And even the first day that we decided to move into this building, to our knowledge, we found out that squatters were in the building, and we have to go to court for eviction.
It's just after dawn in Liverpool. Today, the squatters who've taken over this 19th century church are set to be evicted. Lawyer Chris Sharp has won a possession order on behalf of its leaseholders, Rev Sarpong and Ibrahim Farouk.
Morning. How are you? All right?
Good, thanks.
Yeah?
Good.
Well, finally, the morning's come.
Yes.
Very early, I know, but it's always the best way.
It is.
Catch people unaware, and also, with it being so early, might be a bit of commotion. Best that there's no masses watching as well.
They've been tipped off that there are up to 20 squatters living in the church. So Chris has brought in a large team of High Court sheriffs to carry out the eviction.
Good to see you again.
Evictions like this can turn nasty.
You always know the sheriffs mean business when they call for the ram. That right, yeah?
Yeah, that's where the lock is. Oh, dear.
If nothing else, it should wake them up if they're in there.
They finally have access, but still no idea who or what awaits inside.
Sheriff's office!
Right, how long have I got to pack up my stuff?
Well, pretty much half an hour. You've had several months, so
Yeah.
half an hour, yeah?
Yeah, okay then.
Is that little room over there?
Eviction lawyer Chris Sharp has been handling the case.
To show just how organised these people are, they've got a little crib sheet here. If the cops come to the door, here's what to say or not to say.
There are far fewer squatters today than Chris had feared, but it's clear that many more people have been living in the church. And 8 months later than planned, the Reverend and Ibrahim finally have their church.
Okay?
All right.
No problem.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Great.
But there is a huge job to be done before they can open their ministry and community centre.
Look at the mess.
It's a mess. You look up, it looks wonderful. You look down, shudder a little bit, don't you? Wow. You've got some work ahead of you guys.
A trained and lead pastor of Christian Good House Ministry, you spent a lot of time working as a painter, plumber, builder, and even as a carpenter trying to bring back the building to its original glory. Why are you so passionate to restore this building?
That is an interesting question. See, when we talk about different trade works that goes on into or take place in this building, because at the moment we don't have the funds to employ all those men or the trade workers that you did mention. So sometimes the ones that I feel I can do it, I take it on board to do it myself, because if you ask somebody or a professional to come and do different works, the amount that they quote, and the church is just a few in number, and we haven't received or we don't have sponsors or funders that fund this. So I take it on board to do it myself. And I have the passion to bring this building back to the community or to restore it, because people have passionate of this kind of historic buildings. And so if this building can be restored, which is a landmark to the community, it will really speak well. And if it's going to be restored, it will also boost the economy of this community as well in different shape. And even people from different communities or places can even use this place as a tourist center. We could even rent it out for different projects, different venues. So it's my passion to bring this building back to life again.